following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallway trying to go 3 wide. No one will let them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive it in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome, race fans, to Primetime Racing TV and tonight's coverage of the Hardline Fast Track Sims Cup Series. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for round of 12 in the playoffs. It's race 3. It is the elimination race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I am in the booth tonight with no one else than Evan Black, so it'll be a nice night of racing tonight for the Cup cars here at Charlotte. Evan, what are we expecting to see here tonight?
Especially in the daytime, it's really kind of tight and slick, and you can really move around. I raced here Wednesday night. You can really move around and change your lanes. It should be a really fun race.
Yeah, as he said, Charlotte is, especially in the day, you don't have the grip of the night version that a lot of these leagues and drivers may be used to. You will have to work that car around the track, try out the different lanes, and move around as the tires wear and as the track heats up.
As Corey said before, this is the final race in the round of 12. 8 drivers will move on from here, and I believe Corey has the points.
We do have, after last week's race at, if I remember right, Dover Speedway. Yep, Thomas Bresci is your points leader by 16 over Cole Begunia, and then in the 3rd spot is Briar LaPrade, and the top 6 would be Josh Adams, Rusty Capel, and Tyler Hensley.
Then Shane Tarrant is in 7th. Nick Massey is in that final transfer position. Cody Tabor and Kyle Zimmer are tied for 9th. So Cody Tabor is 7 points out of a spot in the next round of the playoffs. Then Casey Shue and Joel Holloway are now the final 12 drivers.
And the drivers that are in the playoffs are denoted in the ticker by their orange and black names, so you will be able to follow them. And as you kind of alluded to, Evan, there's a couple drivers that are in position to obviously be in. They're going to need a good run, to say it nicely. They're going to need a good run to carry themselves through. That would be Massey and Taryn. They're going to need to make sure they do not make mistakes, because 7 or 8 positions on the track could bump them out of the next round.
Which Massey is already doing a pretty nice job to start that good run. He's currently on the pole. Then Shane Taryn back in third. Good run for both of them in qualifying.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, also the home of Primetime Racing TV Night. It's powered by the Hardline Racing League. You will see that Thursday night this coming week, so that'll be a great race and some practice for some of these drivers at Charlotte Motor Speedway, so stay tuned for that, but also stay tuned for another night of racing here on PTR TV. Glad to have you with us for the Fast Track Sims Cup Series, as looks like qualifying will soon conclude, and we will get you your starting lineup. And there it is. Qualifying has officially ended, so let us present to you tonight's starting lineup for the Fast Track Sims Cup Series at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. On tonight's pole with his lap time of 29.755 is Nick Massey, so we offer him our congratulations, and Thomas Bresci to the outside in position number 2. In third spot is Shane Taryn. Fourth is Joshua Adams. In fifth, you'll see Chuck Sweeting with Casey Shue to his outside, and then in seventh, Justin Munsell. 8th, Briar LaPrade, and the top 10 concluded with Cole Pagunia and Tyler Hensley.
And Jordan Pauly finishing in 11th, Robert Kinney in 12th, Nick Olson in 13th, Cody Tabor in 14th, Fred Cartwright Jr. in 15th, and then Brandon Krutz in 16th, and Rusty Capel running at the field in 17th.
17 drivers take tonight's grid at Charlotte, and a couple drivers of, as we said, a couple drivers of note I want to point out. Obviously, you did see Brandon Krutz in the lineup. He is usually calling the races with us, but he will be in the driver's seat tonight. Be in the 15th spot, so we'll have to watch out, see what he can do in the PTR machine. But obviously up front, normal drivers to see. Thomas Bresci up front nearly every single week. Nick Massey has been putting on some very competitive races recently, and of course Shane Tarrant can never count him out.
Yeah, let's see if Brandon can beat my finishing position of 6th from Tuesday night. Think that'll happen, Corey?
I'm going to be an optimist because we're a team. But the realist in me may have a different answer. Weather conditions tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway: 78 degrees in the air, 104 on the track, normal conditions, 2-mile-an-hour wind, so that should be nothing of concern for these drivers tonight, nothing they are not used to.
So what do we think the fuel windows can be tonight here, Corey?
What did you call me?
We're not going to talk about that.
And just to confirm, because my brain always seems to elude the fact, there we go. So I'm going to go with about 40 laps. I'm not overly comfortable with that opinion, but I'm going to say about 40 laps, and I think that is about the longest that any of these drivers will want to stay out on tires, so I think that'll work out quite nicely.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be around 40 to 45 laps. And from what I'm seeing in chat, it looks like a lot of these drivers are having a handful from these race cars.
Especially with the daytime conditions, and obviously these machines being a lot faster and more challenging than their Xfinity counterparts. I expect a significant tire drop off, probably upwards of about 3 seconds over the course of a extremely long run, so we'll see how that comes into effect. But Nick Massey navigates through turns number 3 and 4, getting ready for the start of the race.
48 of Nick Massey leading the field, 24 Thomas Bresci on the outside. Jimmy Johnston and Jeff Gordon paint schemes on those machines. So the pace car gets ready to pull down in the pit road for the initial green flag. There it is, now waiting for Massey to get on the throttle. He does. We are underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it's at the 4 of Casey Shue not getting going on that restart. Back around 6th.
Yeah, Casey Shue in the, I believe that to be the Dale Earnhardt Jr.-esque scheme there, did not get a good start. And Justin Munsell already gets contact with Briar LaPrade.
How did he save that car?
He is just that good. Early contact here at Charlotte on the first lap, first turn, but everyone does get through okay as we enter turn number 3 and 4. Massey to the bottom. Bresci already playing with the top groove. That may allow Josh Adams to get a run off turn 4.
Laprato's completely sideways.
Yeah, Munsell on the inside just washed up there. Not sure if he got loose or got tight. I don't know how it exactly happened, but just went straight up the track. Who is that? Jordan Pauly in the wall potentially in 1 and 2 that'll allow Laprat to get by. It's a battle for position with that is Munsell and Begunia, and you can see Hensley Larson lining it up there in 3 and 4. You didn't expect that this early in the race, but seems to be working just fine for him. So contact.
Oh, contact with Munsell and Begunia through the quad oval. Begunia will get by Munsell for the 7th position, but Munsell is trying to fight back on the outside.
And he is fighting back successfully, Evan, as he almost gets into the fence there off turn 2, but actually doesn't get as good of a run as I expected him to get. But here comes Hensley with a look underneath Munsell.
Hensley in that discount tire number 5 underneath the 22 of Munsell. Now turn number 4. Not going to be able to get as good of a run as he would have liked. Looks like he's not going to be able to gain the position.
Then we have some battling up front, Evan. We have Thomas Bresci to the outside. We have Shane Tarrant to the inside as we go through turn number 1 and 2. A lot harder to make the bottom work in 1 and 2 as Tarrant just found out he'll have to drop back into line.
And now Bresci is trying to get back by the 88 of Adams, but it looks like Adams is starting to pull away just a little bit over the 24 of Bresci, who is now trying to hold up the 30 of Tarrant.
AC Shu trying to tag along to the back half of this battle as he has caught Chuck Sweeting in the 26. So this entire field, well, this entire, I believe it to be 7 drivers are within about a second or so of each other. And again, battling a little bit behind this, we just focused on was Munsell and Hensley here. This is for 8th and 9th, going through turns 3 and 4.
And then we have Brian Pratt right behind him, who is now right behind Justin Munsell. I wonder if Pratt's going to show his displeasure to the 22.
I wouldn't expect this early in the race, or at least I'd hope not, but again, we never know. As see, he is behind that side-by-side battle coming off of turn number 2. Hensley to the top, Munsell to the bottom, and where is he gonna go?
Pratt bunk drafting, giving him a shot into the corner.
Yeah, he's obviously not happy, but let's see how he does choose to assess the situation. He's gonna go to the top of Munsell at the start-finish. This should give him the preferred line in turn number 1, I would imagine. And he will clear successfully and move Munsell back to the 10th spot. Laprat up to 9th off of turn number 2. A little bit of wiggle there from both those drivers, nothing of significance. See a little bit ways back in the field. Jordan Pauly in the 19 all the way to the bottom trying to make something happen. But I think, who's that? Frank Hartley Jr. ahead of him. Robert Kenny to the outside of Pauly, and Rusty Capel trying to make something happen.
Cody Tabor still on track right behind these drivers, fighting to get around the 19 of Pauly in that Liberty University machine.
Big admin Tabor trying to take the Charlotte Motor Speedway as best he can, trying to make a pass around the number 19 car of Pauly down the back straightaway, getting into the 15th position, going through turns 3 and 4. He will do so. Pauly even going to drop off the pace here a little bit, but go back to the front of the field where the action is tightening up for the 3rd spot, still with Bresci and Tarrant. Also looks like with Josh Adams.
Yeah, Josh Adams was able to get by Bresci earlier. Now looks like Bresci is getting really loose out of turn 4.
As Chuck Sweeting is passing Begunia, also taking Casey Shu with him. Saw that in the back of the view here, but here comes Tarrant. Looks like a little bit of a crossover. He went high, went low. He's going to try to get a run under Bresci off turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Nothing doing. We'll pull back in line.
Yeah, Tarrant did not get as good of a run out of 4 as he would have hoped. He's not going to be able to get to the inside or outside of Bresci, and Bresci driving in deep into turn 1. Tarrant got a pretty good run out of 2 so far. He might be able to look underneath him going into turn 3.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, Evan, as we know, it is a very fun track to race, especially here in the daytime conditions, but where do you pass here? It seems like you want to be in one spot at one half of the track, but on the other half of the track, you want to be on the other line, so it's really hard to kind of choose where you want to be.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to pass on the bottom. You can maybe catch someone by running the bottom, but you cannot pass down there. You have to pass on the outside.
And I know we ourselves have run some practice laps here, and we even had different differing opinions on where to run. I wanted to run the top in 3 and 4. You thought you wanted to run the top in 1 and 2. So there are different ways to navigate around the speedway, as you saw Taryn run on the top there in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Wednesday night I ran a few more laps in the Xfinity car, and you really
caution.
Caution that out. Big wreck on the backstretch.
Frank Hartley Jr. and Robert Kenny. Kenny obviously getting the worst end of that deal. So
oh, Kenny upside down, barrel rolling, big wreck, big hit for the 10 of Kenny on the front stretch.
All right, we'll start in turn 3 and 4 and see what the result was. He was underneath Hartley off of, as you said, in 3 and 4, and
looks
Hartley,
like he just thought he was clear. Looks
whoa,
like he came up.
Whoa, my goodness. That, wow. I'm going to go on board with Hartley here and see if someone came down or if someone came up, because I feel like it kind of go both ways there.
It looks like Frank came down a little bit and Kenny came up. I don't know if Kenny thought he was clear.
Might have to just chalk that down to a racing deal. It did look like Hartley kind of...
Hartley came down more than Kenny came up.
Yeah, and that was a very radical ending to that wreck there, but he will have to use his fast repair very early in the race.
They don't have fast repairs.
So he will not use his fast repair very early in the race. Hey, we cover a lot of leagues, so I sometimes get the rule sets mixed up. Apologies for that. So that will not allow the car of Robert Kennedy to get back on the track, but everyone has chosen to come to pit lane.
Cole Lagunia, I don't know why it's scoring him as a left down.
I wonder, we know that Begunia has had problems with his internet in the past. Sometimes that can throw you off. I wonder.
Yeah, it looks like he had, he was in 7th, then he just disappeared and he came back and he was a lap down.
That is kind of a unfortunate beast with what we are doing here as internet sim racers. We obviously are putting some dependency on our ISP, our internet service providers, to give us solid connection to allow us to race. Sometimes there are issues, and if issues occur at a certain point in a lap, sometimes it can cause the simulation to score you as missing a lap if it doesn't know exactly where you are at the moment. So I believe that may have been what happened for Begunia, but he may have gotten the lucky dog, I do believe. So
yeah, he got the lucky dog, so we'll be able to come down pit road this time and get some 4 fresh tires on that 7 machine.
Well, he will be at the back of the pack, but at least he will not have to stay out on the wave around. At least he will be able to get the fresh tires, and there's not really much of a track position loss at this point other than a few positions. So he still has 125 laps, which is plenty of time here around Charlotte. So no worries in 7 camp for any of you Begunia fans out there.
The stage tonight will be on lap 55. So they should be able to make it to the end of the stage with them just now pitting, I would think.
Yeah, so 35 laps with, actually, what did you said, 45?
I'd say 40 to 45.
Oh, is that what the stage was? I kind of...
Stage is lap 55.
55, so that's 40 laps, and yeah, I think that'd be it wouldn't be fun on tires, but I do expect the fuel mileage to prevail for that long at the very least.
Yeah, because they'll have about 40 or so laps of green flag racing. If they go green, they could have another caution, who knows.
With the field size that we do have tonight and the nature of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, if we do get, I'd say if we get about 15 or 20 laps under green and everyone kind of gets into their own little rhythm and spreads out a little bit, I do expect this race to go green for quite some time. It's usually how they play out, so we'll see how that does happen. Remember, the stage will not cause a caution as the pace car's lights go off. It will go back green in 1 more lap.
Chuck Sweeting now up to the 3rd position. Looks like, did he get by both Bressie and Tarrant on pit road?
It does appear that is the case.
Good job by his pit crew to get him out there ahead of Bressie and Tarrant.
Remember, Sweeting is not in the chase picture, so he's in this just to play spoiler, and he will do the best he can. We've seen him have some pretty good runs over the course of the Hardline campaign, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him up here battling with these guys, but it's going to be Massey and Josh Adams taking this restart down for us.
Going through turns number 3 and 4 now. 48 Massey out front, 88 of Adams stays outside, and Chuck Sweeting, second row inside, Thomas Bressy, second row outside. So now waiting for the pace car to pull down into pit road. And there it is, waiting on Massey to get us back underway. And there it goes, we're back underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And Taryn did not get going very well that time. He lost positions to both Bressy and Hensley on the outside groove. But the battle is for the second spot as Chuck Sweeting will take second from Adams, but he won't get through 1 and 2. Got a little bit loose, may give Adams another run, but nope, he will clear off 2, so move the 26 into second spot.
Yeah, really good restart for Sweeting to get up to the second position. As now Pratt is looking underneath the 38 of Taryn, who did not get going at all in that restart.
He did not. He started, I believe it was in 4th, you said, Evan, but he's all the way back to 6th, maybe even 7th, as he is now duking out with LaPrade. Looks like he will clear LaPrade for the time being, and maybe he can make a move and get past Hensley in the 5th spot.
Now Bressy trying to get around the 88 of Adams. Adams really
big
loose out
wiggle.
of turn 2. That's going to give the outside lane to Bressy going down into turn number 3. Bressy has the preferred lane, but I don't know if he'll be able to get it done.
Adams didn't nail the bottom that time. It was about maybe a half a lane off the bottom, so that kind of caused Bressy to go a little further up the track, so Bressy will not be able to keep the side-by-side. We'll fall back in line as we enter 1 and 2, and it looks like, who's that, Hensley taking a look.
Bressy got a little loose in the center of 1 and 2, and that opened the door for Hensley, but Hensley really just cannot get down to the inside of Bressy, and now 38 of Taryn trying to get around Hensley.
Here we come through 3 and 4. Hensley is on the outside, Taryn to the inside. We know that it's hard to keep your momentum up on the bottom of the raceway, but Taryn did stay side by side. Let's see if he can hold it through 1 and 2.
He is so far, but Hensley looks like he will get a pretty good run out of 1 and 2. No, not quite. Shane Taryn got a really good run down there on the bottom. Now Pratt has nowhere to go. Will he look 3 wide? No, not quite. Now
is that the Charlotte slide job there from Taryn?
Yeah, that looks like it might be Hensley trying to cross over.
Actually, Taryn didn't even need a slide job there. He just dove it in the turn, got it to stick, and was able to clear that way. So pretty good pass by the number 38 machine, but Hensley thought he was going to try to dive it to the outside. He got a pretty good run through the center, but watch out for LaPrade taking a look to the outside off of 2.
Oh, contact between LaPrade and Hensley. Hensley has some right rear damage now.
He's going to open the door for Casey Shue in the 4 to dive in on the bottom. In turn number 3 is able to clear LaPrade, and Nick Olson wants in this battle.
Nick Olson, oh, LaPrade in the wall. Nick Olson trying to get under LaPrade now down the front stretch. Doesn't have good enough run to get under him quite yet. Diving down deep into 1 and 2. Now Casey Shue looking to the outside of Hensley for the 6th position.
Trying to get wound up on the outside groove is Casey Shue, but I'll tell you, LaPrade was in the wall, but is still holding some momentum. Had to back off in the straightaway because he had nowhere to go with it. He's going to take it all the way up in the Larson world up there, right against the fence. Let's see if he can get the run down the front straightaway.
Looks like he's getting a pretty good run out of 4 and through the quad oval, but he's still not going to look underneath the 4 Casey Shue just yet.
As we go a little bit closer to the front, Josh Adams is right to the bumper of Chuck Sweeting, not allowing Sweeting to get away. This may be a battle shaping up for second relatively shortly.
Looks like Adams is hooking the white line a little bit better than Sweeting, which it seems to be working for him.
And I have one comment to say in regards to Josh Adams. Boo.
Go Eagles.
Boo. Anyways,
Go Eagles.
That just had to be said, so that has been said. We will go back as that battle has kind of ceased temporarily. The battle for about 5th through 7th is still under, well, it's still under fire, but Pratt is looking all the way to the top. Casey Shue looking to get underneath Hensley at the same time, and again, Nick Olson just kind of tagging along, waiting for something to happen.
Looks like most of the cars on track except for the 10 of Robert Kinney. after this big hit. But 16 drivers on track, 15 on the lead lap. The last of those being Jordan Pauly.
As LaPrade takes it to the inside into turn number 3 underneath Casey's shoe. He is clear for the time being. Will he try to cut the nose off? Yes, he will. Shoe will still have the momentum. Let's see if he decides to take it to the inside, entering turn number 1. A little bit of contact in the left rear quarter panel onto LaPrade. I don't think Shoe is happy with getting his nose chopped off.
Yeah, looks like Shoe might be now giving up the position to LaPrade. So now Shoe's going to have to try and fend off the 0-0 to Olsen, who's just working right back there.
Olsen, you will see him as one of the elite drivers, one of the lock-ins on our NASCAR night, as he is a member of staff in who is a Super Speedway Media. He is a writer there, as well as he works for the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So he will be one of the lock-ins for Primetime Racing NASCAR night, powered by Hardline Racing League. Up to the...
It's Speedway Digest.
I knew it was something. I learned it last second. My memory has not grasped yet. Apologies for that, but we go to the 2nd through 4th positions off of turn number 4. I'll tell you, Adams had a pretty good run, and he has a run yet again off of turn number 4. Then Bressie lurking behind this, trying to figure out what he's going to do.
Adams driving it really deep into 1 and 2, but it looks like Sweeting will get the run out of the corner. Adams doing a pretty nice job down there on the bottom, and now with Bressie trying to figure out who to go with.
Sweeting has that wall line working very well, and that gave him the run off of turn number 2, as Bressie's going to try to fill in the gap on the bottom, but I don't expect it to last once Sweeting gets wound up, but I'm going to take that back. Sweeting didn't get off of 4. Bressie got the run off of 4, so they'll be side by side in turn 1.
And no, not anymore. Sweeting dropping back to the 5th position.
But here comes that run. Watch this run. He has, oh, it died off.
Oh, Bressie got really loose out of 2. It's like he's Sweeting a little bit better of a run than he would have got otherwise. And Bressie driving in really deep into 3 to the back bumper of Adams.
Off. A little bit of wiggle from Adams, a little bit of wiggle from Bressie, but Bressie was the one with the better run, and he will close to the rear deck lid of Josh Adams, and he'll try to run the bottom, and we know how that works. I expect Adams to get the momentum off 2 down the back straightaway, and to be honest,
pretty even.
Yeah, he didn't really get it.
Nick Massey is loving this battle he has seen in his rearview mirror, out to a 2nd and a quarter lead now.
Yeah, we'll bring up the primetime battle tracker here and see what the relation is between Massey and Adams. As the lap clicks off, I see a 31.4 for Massey to a 31.38 for Adams. So
they're actually a little bit quicker last time back.
Yeah, the gap is 1.16, and throughout this intense battle that Adams is trying to endure, they are closing on the leader slightly.
Still a battle going on between LaPrade and Hensley for the 6th position. LaPrade now looking underneath Hensley down the front straightaway through the quad oval, going into turn number 1. LaPrade barely has its nose in there, driving it deep into turn 1, almost clear.
Is he going to try to slide off? He's not going to be able to, and that's going to give Hensley the momentum down the back straightaway, and will
clear.
It seems, and you talked about it earlier, Evan, he's going to have to, or everybody for that matter, they're going to have to try to get a run to the outside, get to the right rear quarter panel off corner exit. I think that is the best way for someone to be able to complete a pass right now.
Hensley really loose through the quad oval. Never thought I'd say that.
But here comes Bressie underneath Josh Adams through 1 and 2. Had a run, we got a big wiggle, lost it. Also saw a big wiggle from Taryn, but again, they're still side by side as Munsell, all the way out of the corner of my eye, he got extremely loose off corner exit here. Everything's going on at once right now.
Yeah, LaPrade has now cleared Hensley. A lot of stuff going on. Now LaPrade really loose. Out of 4 through the quad oval. He's still loose.
Just back it down, buddy. Keep it under control. He did manage to do so. I'm going to go back on replay here, and we can watch together as LaPrade just struggled for dear life there, it seemed, off turn number 4. Hear the wheel spin there. Now, and he just...
Oh, big wreck down the back stretch. Big wreck. It was about to be a big wreck. Cautions out Brandon Krutz, no contact. But how he is headed for the inside wall, I thought that was going to be a really big hit.
And the number 93, our primetime partner Brandon Krutz, into the wall off of turn number 2 that shot him down the speedway.
Look how close he got to that wall.
You'd think he was just that daggum good, but he didn't hit the outside wall very hard, and he didn't hit
He's fine.
He didn't hit the inside wall. He just aggravated those Mr. Goodyears, and he'll get a new set, carry on, and maybe bump out that right side just a little bit. Shane Taryn, what's up with him down there? Taryn has damage.
I'm not sure.
That makes 2 of us. Now we have to...
He spun out.
Under caution? We're watching the replay here off of turn number... Taryn hit the apron off of turn number 2 under pacing and spun out. I can safely say, have you ever?
No, I've never. And Tyler Hensley is around on pit road.
Well, back to Taryn, he lit the throttle off of turn number 2 while he was on the apron, and that got him around, but you said Tyler Hensley now. Are we getting... What?
Hensley and LaPrade wrecked on pit road.
Wow. That was reminiscent of Harvick and Kyle Busch at Darlington a few years back, and I have a feeling that that wasn't playing nice or accidental, but not one to be the judge of incident. But so let's kind of talk about what we just saw in the last about 45 seconds. We saw Brandon Krutz spin out off turn 2, bringing out the yellow. We saw Shane Taryn get loose off of turn number 2 under pacing speed. We saw Tyler Hensley get wrecked, well, get bumped by LaPrade on pit road, all in the course of 2 minutes. So,
from what I'm hearing from our, I guess, in-race reporter Brandon Krutz, is that Taryn had some sort of technical issue. And that's what caused, Shane Taryn had some sort of technical issue, and that's what caused him to spin out.
Interesting.
But did Taryn hit anything?
He, from what I saw, and the reason that I'm a little confuzzled by that response is that I saw Taryn running the white line off turn number 2 under pacing speed. And while he was kind of straddled on the white line, he nailed the throttle. And where the car was kind of already at a weird position, like straddled on the apron, that, I think, just caused him to lose it.
Yeah, just what I'm hearing is he had some sort of equipment issue.
So we will take that into consideration with what we saw there. And
so that was interesting.
Yeah, that's about what we can say about that. So that was a thing, as Mr. Krutz would say if he was here.
And another thing to that list, Cody Tabor has stayed out.
Is this his first lap led of his life?
I think it could be. And the lights aren't on the pace car, and he's still out front.
Wowza. Cody Tabor has been on the circuit for 24 laps since his last trip into the lane of pits.
The lane of pits.
To the lane of pits, and he will choose to be the leader. He will be the control car on these extremely old tires on the outside groove here.
He is gonna really have to watch for wheel spin on this start, because even in the Xfinity cars on fresh tires, those things get really loose on these restarts.
So,
and with an extra 100 horsepower and older tires.
So we said earlier that this was a thing. I have a feeling I may be saying that about a lap or 2 time, but we'll hope for the best. As we navigate through 3 and 4, remember Tabor in the 18 on the outside is the leader. He is the control vehicle. Nick Massey is in the fresh tires. He is the pole sitter, has led the majority of the race on the inside groove as the pace car pulls in. Cody Tabor will get this race underway, and he is on the loud pedal. Green flag back in the air.
So he got a little bit loose and into the wall and wrecking.
And
big wreck. That's everyone.
That was the thing that we talked about. I
saw that one coming.
That was Krutz. That was... Who else did we see there? That was Josh Adams was involved. So let's go back on the...
was Begunia, LaPrade, Olsen, Shu, Ressi.
Now let's just go on.
Everyone except for Massey and Sweeney, it looks like.
On board with Tabor. Yeah, he just lost it about the start-finish line, and from there, yep, we saw, at least in some way, shape, or form, about 6 or 7 drivers get something out of that. The whole track became blocked. So for the 3rd time of the race, I'll say, so that was a thing.
This race is...
What is?
What is this race?
This is the round of 12, race number 3, the elimination race at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Fast Track Sims Hardline Cup Series. That is what it is in principle, but what it is in actuality is a lot different than what I expected coming into it, but it will give Nick Massey the lead. It will give Chuck Sweeting the position number 2, and Shane Tarrant is in the 3rd spot. So we will step away for a quick side-by-side commercial break and be back with you for the restart. So please stay with us.
Red Bull GRC is now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
Welcome back, everybody, to PTR TV here for the Hardline Racing League Fast Track Sims Cup Series here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. After what has been a pretty interesting 30 laps or so, 40 laps now.
Interesting is, I think the
interesting to say the least.
I think that's the politically correct term to say. It's an interesting race. We've seen a lot more calamity than I think any of us did expect coming into it, but we will carry on lap number 43, taking lap number 44 with Your pole sitter in current leader Nick Massey and Chuck Sweeting will be on the outside of the front row.
And top 3 stayed out. Everyone behind them did come down for 4 fresh tires as the pace car is getting ready to pull down into pit road. And waiting on it, there it is, waiting on Massey, and we are back underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Massey wasted no time whatsoever back on the loud pedal, and Cole Bagugna got a better start than Sweeting, so move him into the 2nd spot, Sweeting back to 3rd, and the battle is for about 5th on back.
Well, proud of this look, and 3 wide underneath Casey's shoe, but thought better of it.
Big wiggle from Capel.
Almost contact between Munsell and Taryn as well.
Capel had a big wiggle off in the 42, and Taryn also had a little bit of an experience there. You can see the damage on Casey's shoe, the front end damage there. Car's still running fine, but I wonder if that radiator is going to overheat.
It's only one way to find out.
Wait for it to blow up.
Exactly. Is now Chuck Sweeting looking underneath Cole Bagugna for the 2nd position. Out of turn number 2, Bagugna on the high side will clear Sweeting for the 2nd position.
Yeah, so let's see, Bagugna, this is the highest position he has been in tonight in the 7 machine. So we'll see here as he tries to close out Nick Massey, who has about a half-second lead over him at the moment.
Now, after that instant, there's only 12 cars on the lead lap, last of those being Thomas Bressie.
Bressie has pretty comparable damage to what Casey Shoe has, but I feel like that damage for him is a lot more catastrophic because he is really off the pace right now.
But the best thing for Bressie is that he's 43 points ahead of the cutoff line.
He is. Bressie through turns 1 and 2. I mean, you can kind of give me some reference on other drivers. He only was about 165-ish through 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Massey's only about 157, but he's on older tires.
But Bressie only topped out about 174-ish down the back straightaway, which I know is...
Yeah, Massey is 193 going into turn 3.
As Casey Shoe is about to lose a position to Shane Taryn.
And with Brad looking as well to the outside of Shoe. Now Shoe trying to get by Rusty Capel.
Capel to the outside, Taryn to the inside as Hensley has pulled away from this battle just by a bit.
Shoe will clear Capel for the 6th position.
All the while, Massey is pulling away from Bagugna. That lead, which was about a little less than half a second, is now almost 3/4 of a second. So no eminent lead battles are on the way, but still battles in the remainder of the top 5 as here comes Taryn trying to take a look underneath Tyler Hensley.
These drivers are on the same set of tires. Now Hensley trying to fight back on the outside through turns number 1 and 2, but Taryn's doing a pretty nice job to get a run out of 2 down the back stretch. Hensley's still barely on the outside. Now Taryn will clear going into turn number 3.
Evan, I just wanted to make fun of you, but I just decided to be nice.
Do it.
How are they on
make fun of you?
How are they on the same set of tires? Because there's 2 cars.
They have the same amount of laps on their tires.
I know, I just had to do it. And here comes Rusty Capel. He kind of closed on Casey Shoe for a little bit, but it looks like Shoe is getting through the turns a little bit better, but I think Capel might be getting off the turns, allowing him to close, but not quite that time. As who's that driver a little bit further back that has
Pryor with Prad? Or even further back than that?
Somebody has
Josh Adams?
Somebody has no hood.
He's at their...
Oh, that is Nick Olson.
Nick Olson
running a modified right now.
And Josh Adams has no front end at all.
Cody Tabor just dove it under Rusty Capel. This is kind of the battle of the damaged vehicles.
So Nick Olson has no front end and no rear end, and he's still outrunning Cody Tabor. That's just something I want to point out.
Yeah, on the lap tracker, we let's just see here. He's about a second off of Brandon Krutz. Brandon Krutz was a 31.49, 32.5 for Olson. So he's obviously off the pace, but he is, as you said, still kind of battling with Tabor. It is kind of an interesting situation, but we'll go back to the front where the battles are a little more a priority at the moment, and it looks like Bagugna is kind of pulled away from Taryn. Chuck Sweeting takes a look to the inside of, who is that, of Taryn.
Which Taryn has fresher tires. He is not on the same set. Corey.
Not on the same exact set, of course not.
So now Taryn trying to get by Begunia with about 5 laps less on his tires.
Well, let's bring up the battle, or the top 5 laps, see who is the fastest last time around the speedway in it.
I'm going to take a guess at Shane Taryn.
It was, but not by that much, only by about a 1/10, and with all this battling, he will wear the newness off those tires just a bit, which will perhaps equalize them out just a bit, but he is underneath Begunia down the front straightaway and into turn number 1. He will clear easily.
Now I think Taryn will go out there and he'll have something to say about Nick Massey's lead and Massey's dominance so far. But with the stage white flag coming this time by, I think Massey's got it locked up.
Yeah, Massey up by a little over a second now, so he will get the stage point, which being as he is not in the playoff picture. Actually, yes, he is in the playoff picture, rather, excuse me. He's in the 8th spot, so this point is rather beneficial for him to give himself any kind of buffer, so he'll take that.
And the guy behind him is Cody Tabor, who's not having a very good night.
Yeah, we saw what happened.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Oh, Massey really loose out of 2. So nice job to hang on to that machine. And coming to the end of the stage of turn 4 now.
Now we'll kind of bring up the tracker here as everyone is in clear territory. We'll see who of the top 2 is the faster driver. 31 for Massey to a 31.17 for Taryn, so a little over a 1/10, and that is reflected. The gap is exactly 1 second now.
Taryn will be up to Massey here shortly, I do believe. And catching him is one thing, but like you say, Cole, passing him is a completely different thing. And with Taryn's fresher tires, he might be able to make that a little bit easier. Get around Massey.
He may, but by the time he gets there, I kind of think he's going to have the good war off those, and he's going to have to really just wait for a mistake or try to get it run.
Year tires, year Eagle tires. You said they're going to have to get off of them.
Oh, we are just trading punts back and forth right now, aren't we? I did see some drivers really pushing the top groove in 3 and 4 higher than I've seen thus far. It looks like it was the from about Briar LaPrade on back, and of course the Corey Kurse, they ran a lot lower that time on the speedway, but the lines are varying here at Charlotte as we expected. We still see some drivers very diligently running the inside groove, but a lot of drivers running the middle, running the top, running a high apex, running a late apex. A lot of different ways to navigate.
High apex?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Explain what a high apex is, Corey.
You don't hit the apex on the inside of the turn. You kind of make your own apex in the center of the turn.
Okay,
in the center,
apex is the center of the corner on the bottom.
But you can you reference your own apex to what groove you're running. Think of a Kansas, Evan. That's a perfect track for it, Evan. Think of Kansas. You're running the top groove there at Kansas.
If you're at Kansas, the apex is still on the bottom.
But it's on the bottom of the top groove. That's what I'm getting at.
The bottom of the top groove.
We will talk about this in later terms. I will make a chart for you.
Okay, do that.
Yes, I will. I will make a diagram. Someone will have to understand what I'm talking about.
I understand what you're talking about, but it's wrong, I think. But anyway, Taryn is nowhere near as fast as he was earlier compared to Massey. He's only about a 1/2 quicker. If that.
Yeah, last time around, well, actually, we'll just get a reading as they hit the stripe this time. He was actually, he was about 300ths faster than Massey, so obviously that is not going to evaporate any kind of gap, so he will continue, it looks like, in the 2nd spot until something drastic happens, maybe with pit stops, but Casey Shue and Briar LaPrade about to undergo a battle for the 6th position.
Nick Olson has gone behind the wall. Now
and Casey Shue, oh my, sorry Evan, Casey Shue was running that top groove really loose.
LaPrade, both of those drivers really loose out of turn 4.
But what I was getting at, Casey Shue was within inch of the safer barrier. That is the highest I've seen anybody run, and he didn't hit the fence, so that was a pretty good set of driving there to be able to run that without hitting the wall. But then we saw the looseness off corner exit as LaPrade takes a look inside, and I think Casey will just let him go.
But what I was saying before that, it looks like Brandon Krutz was still on the apron. He is now on pit road.
Yeah, remember Krutz had the, he was involved in the Cody Tabor wreck there on the front straightaway, and that took the front end off his car, and he will just...
It looks like he got loose again out of 4 and pounded the outside wall. And then just took it to the apron and went down the pit road.
Yeah, so obviously it started off as a decent race for Krutz, but it has slowly deteriorated from some incidents that have occurred since then. But lap number 64 is in the books, and Nick Massey is out to an 0.8 of a second lead. And he is about to... Actually, he has cleared some traffic as he is about to pass Rob McKinney, and that will be the last car for quite some time, and he will be back in the clear racetrack.
So when do you think these drivers will come down pit road, Corey, here in probably around 10-15 laps?
Well, Massey has to pit sooner. Massey and Begunia are going to have to pit sooner than anybody else by about 6 or 7 laps. But off of our estimate of about 40 to 45 laps, I'm going to go with, I mean, I personally would stretch the fuel load as far as possible because I think you're going to need to as long as this race is. But, I mean, I think the fuel window could be open around lap 30, realistically, just for the sake of... Well, not the fuel window, but the pit window just because of tires.
Yeah, I agree, and with now they're under 100 laps to go, it'll probably be what? If they can go 40 laps, 80 more, how many laps are there to go? 75, so they are within 2 stops.
But is that an opportunity to go 3 stops, or do you think that would just be a completely lost cause?
I don't think 3 stops will work. I think you're going to have to do 2 stops. I think that's the only way you'll be able to win.
Closest battle on the track right now is between Justin Munsell and Rusty Capel. This is the 8th and 9th position on the speedway. Munsell takes it all the way to the top. And Rusty Capel all the way to the inside. Nothing doing. He will fall back into line.
Looking, trying to find Rusty Capel.
Coming off turn
He's
number
usually in the 9. He's usually in the 9, so I was looking for the 9. No battles going on at the moment. Everyone's kind of spread out.
But I do want to go on board and prove the Corey Curse wrong.
The Corey Court?
Corey Curse with Casey Shue, because he has been taking...
Easy for you to say.
He has been taking that Dale Jr. scheme and taking the personality to it by running the top groove, but major loose through the tri-oval there. And he will lose a bunch of time, but I wanted to watch him run the wall, but I think he is too out of control to run the wall at this point, so he's kind of trying to run the safer groove around the speedway as Munsell and Munsell and Capel will be in hot pursuit.
Munsell driving really deep into turn 3, looking underneath Casey Shue, kind of turn number 4 down on the front stretch and into the quad oval.
Side by side, both machines with damage. Munsell extremely loose through the quad oval and loses both positions as Capel will get by. Shue all the way.
Shue running that wall.
All the way against the fence. Capel all the way to the inside groove on the white line. Vantage to Capel down the back straightaway. And Capel with a huge wiggle through 3 and 4, hangs on to it but loses the position and the time to the 2 competitors he was battling.
Brad through the grass, almost right in front of Casey Shue.
Go on board and catch what happened to LaPrade. You can see huge wiggle off of 4, and performs the agricultural work here for Charlotte Motor
Big
Speedway.
wreck. Brian Pratt, Justin Munsell on the backstretch. No caution.
We'll go back and watch. I don't see how that wasn't a caution from what we quickly glimpsed at as they come off turn number 2. Munsell was extremely loose and just slid into LaPrad's race track that he was racing on, and he was just an innocent bystander, but as you said, somehow baffling, no yellow off that.
Looks like Justin Munsell might just be calling it quits. So that was another thing.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a race like this for Hardline in quite some time. I am very astonished, but it's more of a survival game, and Nick Massey is the one who's surviving.
And LaPrade is going behind the wall. He is done.
So, as I said, Massey is now out to a 1 1/3 second, nearly 1.5 second lead over Taryn, who has lost the edge that he was starting to gain on Massey, as he had a big wiggle, did Taryn off turn number 2. And I believe Massey's going to have to be the first on the pit lane. He did not pit on the last caution, so he has about 6 laps more on his run. He will need to pit before anybody else. The question is, when does he decide to make that pit stop?
He is on lap 39 right now, so probably in the next 5 laps, I would think. And Corey just put a definition in chat of Apex.
And your definition actually leaves the ambiguity for the statement that I stated.
It is also the tightest part of a corner, and the point that you're closest to the inside of the corner.
Often, but not always.
No, the apex is often but not always the geometric center of the turn, but go down to what I just posted. It is also the tightest parts of the corner and the point which you're closest to the inside of the corner.
You don't want to back down from this, do you?
I do not want to.
My point, and it may not be the exact definition, but the way I view it from the driver's seat, as here comes Massey down pit lane,
road.
We will put the pause button on that conversation until after pit stops.
So now it looks like Taryn will inherit the lead. He has not come to pit road yet. He is on lap 35.
This is Taryn's first lap lead of the night, so he does need this point for his championship endeavors, so he will take that. And he realistically cannot stay out any longer because we know how bad the tire wear is, and I think
he's coming this time.
Yeah.
Justin Munsell is also gotten behind the wall.
Drivers losing 2.5 seconds per lap to what their best laps have been of the race, so any lap you stay out, you're going to be depending on a caution flag, which I wouldn't expect, but at the same time, with how these cars are handling, I could see a caution coming out, so.
There should have been probably about 2 cautions already. That there's been 2 different wrecks, and the caution has not come out.
Capel is still on the speedway in the 42 machine. These are his first lap sled of the night. Number 42, Napa Auto Parts SS. And it looks like we each of us has a defender in chat of our point, so.
Yeah.
But again, I'll try to say this quickly. I'm going to take Kansas Speedway, which has 3 different hash marks, 3 different grooves, and you typically on iRacing, you run the top groove. So the apex, while yes, geometrically and scientifically would be the inside groove all the way against the bottom of the speedway, in terms of the driver's view and the lane that you know you are running, you are basing your personal apex based on the groove that you are predicting to run. So if I am committing,
I call that the line.
So if
I don't think that'd be the apex.
But if I am completely committing to how I am going to run the groove, completely on the top of the track, I have that groove like drilled in my head, and my apex is appropriate to that groove. If I want to run the bottom, I have to plan my marks to run the bottom. That is going to be an entirely different apex in my mind. And that is my last statement on that topic. Correct or incorrect? That is my brain. I am stubborn and I'm sticking to it.
You can see this in the action out here on the track. So Casey's shoes trying to get by Rusty Capel.
This is just to get a lap back.
Yeah, shoes on fresher tires than Capel.
Only drivers on track that have yet to pit are Capel that we just followed, who is currently leading. Thomas Bressi in that heavily damaged number 24 machine is 16 seconds behind Capel.
Looks like everyone is just all single file now trying to make some laps.
Shane Tarrant has closed in on Cole Begunia, as Tarrant did pit 4 laps later, so he does have some fresher rubber on those Goodyear Eagles, Dan Begunia, and he will take full advantage of it through 3 and 4. Close right to the back bumper, but these drivers will be navigating through traffic all the while. As they pass by Bressi, which that technically is a battle for position, Tarrant will close directly to the back bumper. Big wiggle from Begunia, who will go to the low side, and it looks like he will just give Tarrant the outside groove and give him the 4th position.
Rusty Capel has gotten to pit road, as now Nick Massey will get back to the lead over Chuck Sweeting, who is in second.
Sweeting is, let's see what the gap is as the scoring shakes out, is only about half a second behind, but
Sweeting's on a little bit older tires. He short pitted just a little bit. Now Tarrant's about to get by him.
Yeah, so Sweeting gained a little bit in the short term, but he will lose it in the long term, as that lead that he cut into is already going in the opposite direction.
And Tarrant has now got by him for second.
Tarrant has a lap fresher tires than Massey, but he also has a 1 second deficit. So I think it's going to be more of a battle of who is the faster driver, Massey or Tarrant. I don't expect that lap of tires to come into play too much. Begunia in the number 7 machine is on track about 6 or so tenths behind Chuck Sweeting, so I do believe and expect a battle there shaping up pretty soon, as Sweeting takes it all the way to the top of the track, getting passed by Capel, who is off the lead lap. Begunia again having some internet connectivity issues.
He is starting to reel Sweeting in.
And actually, there is only 1 more lap on the tires for Sweeting in relation to Begunia, so this is a pretty genuine battle between these two.
They should have to pit 1 more time. Probably once they get to about lap 100, that'll open the window for them to be able to make it on 1 final stop.
Bressi has finally come to pit road.
It's now only 7 drivers on the lead lap. Or 6 drivers actually now.
Yeah, we'll do a quick through the field while we have the opportunity to do so. Nick Massey, leading 77 of the 88 laps so far, is your leader. Shane Tarrant in the 2nd position. Chuck Sweeting is in 3rd. We have Cole Begunia in 4th. Tyler Hensley all the way back in the 5th spot, a ways back from that battle. And then Casey Shue kind of in his own little world here in 6th spot. Rusty Capel in 7th. Thomas Bressi in 8th. Both of those drivers lapped down, Capel and Bressi. And then we have Cody Tabor, who is 3 laps off the pace in the 9th spot. Joshua Adams in 10th, also 3 laps down. And then Frank Hartley Jr. in 11th. Brandon Krutz in 12th. And Briar LaPrade behind the wall in 13th. Justin Munsell behind the wall in 14th. Robert Kenny not completely retired, but he's in 15th. And then rounding up the field is 16th Nick Olson, 17th Jordan Pauly.
Only about 12 cars. Brandon's in the grass on the front stretch. So only 12 cars on track right now.
Kind of see what we can figure out what happened to Brandon.
Well, it looks like he's out there in a modified right now, and he just tried to drift turn 3 and 4. It looks like ended up mowing the grass.
Again, trying to take the agricultural title away from who was that earlier? I can't remember, but
Briar LaPrade.
But we will take this opportunity to steep to a side-by-side commercial break. We'll be right back with you with the final stint of the race. So again, stay with us.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars. There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get anywhere else. I enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run, about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and, put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside of Shane Stewart. Slide job, no. Larson unable to complete the pass. He'll follow Shane Stewart down the back straightaway. Stewart makes the move to the inside of Craig Kinser. Kyle Larson goes around the outside out of turn 4. You've got a new race leader. Kyle Larson from 9th leads on lap number 23.
I'm probably just a little more relaxed, I guess, at the dirt track just because it's for fun. Where the NASCAR stuff, it's points racing and a lot bigger sponsors and stuff you have to please and all that. You're there for 3 days a week, so your approach is a little bit different there. Where sprint cars, you're there for 5 or 6 hours and moving on to the next racetrack. So I've been on iRacing, I think, since 2009 or 10. Yeah, I remember, starting out, as a rookie on there, in the Legends and the late models and stuff like that, and that was fun to, have to.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Fast Track Sims Hardline Racing League Cup Series here in round number 3 of the round of 12 in the playoffs. We are on lap number 97, approaching lap number 98, and the battle for the lead is shaping up.
Yeah, Taryn has cut Massey's lead down to just a half second, and he's only about 200 quicker last time by. We'll see what he is this time by as they're coming through the quad oval now and crossing the start-finish line.
Now the gap was about 0.4 of a second, back up to about 0.5 of a second. So we'll pull it up on the battle tracker, and
they ran the exact same lap times last time by.
That is very impressive. But in Taryn's case, that's not going to work for him because he needs to run faster, not match his pace. He needs to gain some time, so he will try something different by running the top of the speedway in 3 and 4. Let's see if he gets to run down the straightaway with that momentum. It didn't really appear to be so.
Well, dropped back just a little bit more. Massey was just under a tenth quicker that time by.
And we will need one more pit stop, probably, I'd say about 20 or so to go, depending how they want to go about it.
If they could pit right now and make it to the end, I think.
Yeah, they've gone.
But if they do that, if the caution comes out right after they pit, they're screwed. And if it goes green, they're going to have a pretty good advantage by the time everyone else pits. But they're probably going to lose most, if not all, of that.
But at the same time, kind of going on the same vein as what we expect, if, let's just say, Massey decides to pit, isn't he just going to end up kind of forcing Taryn in with him?
Unless Taryn just wants to go on a different strategy and wait another 20 laps and come down pit road and have the freshest tires with 20 to go.
But at this point in the race, I mean, from my perspective, if I know I'm this close to him, I wouldn't want to go off strategy and take that risk. But I mean, if you think that's your only chance, I guess you might have to.
It looks like they're pretty equal speed-wise. They just keep trading the laps back and forth. So that's not really allowing Taryn to get it to Massey, and Massey's not really able to pull away.
And Begunia did close to within about 0.4 of a second of Chuck Sweeting. I thought there was going to be a battle shaping up for the third position, but Sweeting has pulled away by a significant margin. I think Begunia was in the wall there off turn 4. So it does appear that the best battle on the track is for the lead, and there is a half second in the way of that becoming an actual fight for position. But lap number 102 coming to lap number 103 as the laps tick away. Looks like Taryn got a pretty good run off of 4, took a 10th off.
Yeah, Taryn about a half-tenth quicker last time by. And now Taryn getting a pretty good run out of 2 and down the backstretch. Looks like he's starting to reel Massey back in.
Yeah, I wonder if he maybe overdrove it, or if he just kind of, just wasn't in his mental rhythm, and maybe he just got it back because he has run some better times as he wiggled through the quad over there. It's been a pretty popular trend thus far.
And once again, Taryn about a half-tenth quicker than Massey. He has that gap down to just under 0.4 of a second now.
But as we said, passing is one thing, and
passing is one thing and catching them is another.
Yeah, reverse order.
Whatever works. Pretty even last time by. 0.3 of a second quicker.
Gap now steady at about 0.4 of a second between the two. I believe kind of in a different role than usual. Actually, we will wait. We're going to say we were going to talk to our old pal Brandon Krutz as a driver perspective, but kind of don't want to interrupt this battle as it is still underway. So maybe we can get a quick word in with him later. But through 1 and 2, looks like Massey got a better run through the center of the turn, and no momentum exchange on the back straightaway. But I don't know. Looks like
he's definitely quicker and reeling in Massey.
Kind of looks like he's stalled out just a little bit.
He's got it down to about 0.3 of a second now at the line. And looks like they ran almost the exact same lap time, 0.6 of a second quicker for Massey.
And is that, we have Chuck Sweeting and Tyler Hensley, I'm sorry, Chuck Sweeting and Cole Begunia to pit lane.
They needed to do something with them being about 9 seconds back from the leaders. And this is their strategy call.
So will this pull either of these two to pit lane a little early? Not at least this time by, as Casey Shue comes to pit lane on the corner of the camera there.
And Tyler Hensley has already came down pit road.
So the only drivers, well, in relevance to the lead right now in the top 5 that have not yet pitted are the drivers that are 1 and 2 right now.
And with the lead they had on third, they can afford to do this, because even if they lose 5 or 10, or if they lose 10 seconds, they'll still be up there battling with them, and they'll have 5-10 lap pressure tires.
Yeah, exactly. They have that buffer to play with, so I mean, there still will be a point most likely where Begunia and Sweeting take the lead over these drivers, but I don't see that lasting very long.
I think right about now, maybe another 2 laps, is when I would pit, kind of split this final stage up, or final, yeah, I guess it'd be the final stage.
Kind of segment, maybe.
Yeah, the final segment, split it up.
Yeah, right now they've been on circuit for about 30 or so laps, and they have 30 laps to go in the race as of the stripe.
Oh, Taryn really loose through the quad oval. Sorry to cut you off, Corey.
I almost feel like the quad oval was probably the most difficult segment of the track at this point.
It's flat, and they're turning left at full throttle. So, especially on old tires, can get a little hairy.
But the lead has deteriorated to about 0.2 of a second. Taryn making something happen right here.
Taryn run a little bit lower in 3 and 4, kind of arcing it down to the apex of the corner. Get a pretty good run out of 4, down through the quad oval, into 1. Those drivers ran a little lower than I kind of thought they would.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the 48 is trying to block the run of Shane Taryn by running the bottom of the racetrack, taking his line away. It is working right now. But again, when would these drivers pit? The longer they stay out, the more they are helping Sweeting and Begunia get a better run and a better lead.
And now Massey and Taryn, they're about 35 laps into this stint, so I would expect when they come down pit road, as now they've only got about 29 more laps.
Yeah, right now on the track right now, Begunia is entering turn number 1 lap off the pace, and these 2 leaders are entering turn number 3, so about a lap and a half to the advantage for the 48 and 38.
Taryn got a really good run through the center of 3 and 4 and holding it off through the quad oval now. Going down into turn number 1, what will Taryn do? He'll just kind of stay in line, and looks like he's backing off a little bit earlier, getting a later apex and getting out of turn number 2.
Evan, I'm just, I don't like questioning strategy, but I am astonished these drivers have yet to pit.
Yeah, I agree, Corey. I would have thought that they would have came down right, and they could have split this segment up in half. And there's Taryn. So Massey will have to go down pit road next time by.
This might be the money call for Taryn, because this 1 lap fresher tires that he will have over Massey may come into effect.
Massey has to come to pit road this time.
Oh yeah, he has absolutely no choice.
That's the only way he will have a shot to hang on to this win. See what he does now, coming through turns number 3 and 4. And it looks like he will come down pit road.
Yeah, just hopefully for his sake that he is able to hit the cone and not speed. Looks like he had a pretty conservative entry there, so the question will be, how does this shake out in relation to everybody else?
You can see where Shane Taryn is now. He's just now pulling out of pit road.
Begunia is now entering turn number 1.
Begunia is going to get by Taryn.
But with the older tires, Taryn will eat that gap up in no time.
Yes, he will, but Sweeting did not get by Taryn.
Sweeting's on older tires, so really Sweeting has no chance.
Yeah.
But Massey is just exiting his stall right now.
So it looks like Taryn will pass him.
By,
I'm trying to think of the proper word, just barely. Actually, it might be quite a bit.
Yeah, as I said, Evan, that 1 lap that Massey stayed out.
He's going to have at least a second lead.
That 1 lap that Massey stayed out, as I kind of knew it at the moment it happened, that was going to be the dagger for him.
Now Taryn right on the back bumper of Begunia, coming through the quad oval, but Begunia getting pretty loose. Now getting ready to go into turn number 1. Taryn should easily clear Begunia, and he looks like he will.
Yep, so Rusty Capel has yet to pit, but there's no way he will make the race on this sequence of fuel, so he will actually come to pit road this time by, and that will shake the lead back to the number 38 for the second time today. He's only led 1 lap prior to this, 2 actually, so Shane Taryn will have the lead over Cole Begunia short term.
Nick Massey.
Oh, over Nick Massey, and the advantage is less than a second.
And Nick Massey was 0.3 of a second quicker than Shane Taryn, and Massey was passing the car.
But Massey, you know Massey has to go full bore right now. Taryn doesn't necessarily have to. He can kind of run his own pace just for a little bit, maybe save the tires and wait for a run to happen, wait for having to play defense. Taryn has to get there. I'm sorry, Massey has to get there first.
And once again, they're only about 1/10 and a half quicker last time by, but he's definitely starting to reel him in. And now, do you think we'll go green to the end? Coming up on 20 laps to go here in a few laps, do you think we'll go green, or will there be another yellow?
I just don't see anything on track that could really instigate a yellow, so I'm going to have to imagine it's going to finish like it is. There is a little bit of traffic ahead of these leaders that will have to get navigated through.
I think with everything spread out as far as it is, I don't think we'll have any more cautions tonight.
Right now, just as to kind of regroup and tell you the top 5, we have Shane Taryn, the leader. We have Nick Massey in 2nd, Cole Begunia in 3rd, Chuck Sweeting is in 4th, and Tyler Hensley is in the 5th position at the moment. Last car on the lead lap, Casey Shue in the 6th position.
Who is not very far in front of Shane Taryn.
Not at all, within about a second.
Straightaway, probably.
And Massey within a half second.
Yeah, he closed in 2/10 the last time by. So he will get to Taryn, but will he be able to get by him is the question.
And now they have caught those lap cars, so we'll see how they can navigate and if this has any impact.
I think if anyone's going to fight to stay on the lead lap, it's going to be Casey Shue. I guess he'll be the only one fighting to stay on the lead lap, but fighting to not lose another lap will be Casey Shue.
And he will want to stay in that lucky dog position when he does go a lap down, but I think there's a ways to go before he has any loss of that, so he should be. Massey has to deal with Tabor off turn 2. That will cost Massey's a good amount of time as he had to check up.
Yeah, 1 or 2/10 of a second is now Taryn is trying to get by Shue. Looks like he will easily clear. And now Massey will have to deal with Shue. Coming through the quad oval now.
But Massey did lose about 2/10 just in that little exchange with Tabor there. Remember, the gap was down to about 4/10. Now it's upwards of about 6/10. So that is just a little bit more advantage that Massey will have to get back. But Taryn got a lot loose off of turn number 2, and that cost him about another 1/10.
Doesn't look like any more lap traffic for Taryn for quite a while. So he'll just have to worry about running his own race for the moment.
I'm still taking Taryn in this situation, Evan, even though I think Massey is faster. All Taryn has to do is run smooth and play defense. We know how hard it is to pass here, but the question is, did he already use his stuff up, or has he been taking it easy and kind of waiting for Massey to get there?
I'm going to take Massey.
Oh, I think you would have had to take the one I didn't pick, so we'll see which is right.
That's not a definitive rule, so I figured pick Taryn.
Tis true, touche. 17 laps to go in the race, folks, and I'll tell you, Massey is there. He is within a quarter of a second, within 2 to 3 car lengths of the 38 Machines back bumper, and we have a race.
Yeah, Taryn only he's now under 2/10 of a second through 3 and 4. Practically right on. Oh, Massey getting pretty loose out of 4. He lost a little bit of time to Taryn now through the quad oval. See if he can gain it back through 1 and 2.
If you're in Taryn, do not look in your mirror. If you're Massey, run your line. And I'll tell you, Massey dove it into 1 and 2, and he is there. He is within a 1/10 of a second, and it's on, folks.
Now Massey looks like he's running a little bit higher than Taryn right now through 3 and 4. And let's see if he can get a run out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. He's getting a little bit of a run, but not quite what he wants.
I think this is exactly what he wants. He's there, but he's going to stall out a little bit, and back off. There's nowhere to go with the run this time by through turns number 1 and 2. Let me regroup and figure something else out.
Now running a little bit lower out of 2 down the back stretch, and it really didn't help him or hurt him any. Now they're going up on the 80 to, I believe that's Adams.
Yes, it is. And is that going to affect either driver's line? May have drawn them a little closer to the inside line, but if anything, that may have helped out Taryn by about a tenth or so.
Massey got a pretty good run out of 4 and through the quad oval now once again.
If you're Shane Taryn, you need to make sure Massey does not get to your outside.
Yes, if Massey gets to Taryn's outside, it's game over.
If he gets to the inside, which is obviously how he's going to have to pass, Taryn, if he runs the right line, he can play defense and pinch him down there. That is the defense for the 38 at this point. As
almost contact.
Maybe trying to get a little arrow loose, maybe trying to use the bumper is the 48. He is there. He is definitely getting that 38, a little bit nervous in the rear view mirrors, and the battle is on. 13 laps to go.
Taryn just needs to start running the high side like he is now and just run the defensive line as Massey is looking under him through 1 and 2, but just the inside cannot do anything with that outside.
Yeah, we expect it once we see it, especially in 1 and 2. He really can't do anything. You really see Massey trying to run the higher groove, but what does Taryn do in reaction? He runs the higher groove, kind of blocking it, but here comes the run off corner exit down on the inside.
Massey got a huge run out of 4 now through the quad oval. They're going to be side by side going into turn number 1.
He may be able to dive it.
He's not going to be able to.
Is he?
But he might be able to clear. No, Taryn trying to fight back on the outside.
And he keeps the quarter panel. That's what Taryn needed to do. He held on for dear life. Now, is he going to be able to dive in on the outside in 3, or is Massey going to dive bomb it?
Looks like Massey, he is clear. No, not quite. Taryn fighting back once again on the outside. No, maybe? He still just barely has that quarter panel there.
He needs to get that side draft. He needs to pull himself there so he can keep the outside in turn 1 and 2. This is the battle for the win, folks, with 11 laps to go. Shane Taryn on the outside, Nick Massey to the inside. They're still side by side. Shane Taryn fighting for his life.
Both drivers are loose out of turn 2. You can tell that Shane Taryn is now starting to pinch Massey down more than he had been earlier.
All of this is wearing out the right front tire of Nick Massey, having to hold that inside lane. This is all to Shane Taryn's benefit, as looks like Massey got a little loose off turn 4, but didn't lose any momentum. They're still side by side.
Taryn will give it the line. Is now 10 laps to go here at Charlotte. 38 Taryn still on the outside trying to fight back against Massey. And Massey really didn't gain too much from the bottom now, but he got a bit of a better run out of turn number 2 down the backstretch.
Each of them wiggled off turn number 2, but Taryn is able to pull ahead by about half a car length through 3 and 4, entering 3 and 4. Here comes Massey with the run on the inside. This is the best run, and he may be able to clear.
Massey gets loose.
Massey
fighting back once again.
Massey had it cleared, but he got loose, and that ended up giving Shane Taryn a second life there on the outside as we go through turns 1 and 2.
Taryn needs to start pinching Massey down a little bit more if he wants to get this lead back. And now both drivers get a little bit loose out of 2, but Taryn still gets the better run.
Entering turn number 3 and 4. Again, they have not made any contact that I'm aware of. They are running as hard as you possibly can, and off of turn number 4.
Massey's clear.
Is he? Is he?
He is clear.
I think the 38's gonna, nope, he is clear, but here comes Taryn to the inside.
Now Massey up on the outside through 1 and 2. Taryn sliding up. Massey getting a better run out of 2. Looks like Massey is just overall quicker.
Now Massey is in front. Is he going to pull away, or is Taryn maybe going to figure out something, follow the line, and figure out what he was doing wrong? As we go through 3 and 4, you can see Massey running about a half lane lower. Taryn really having to wheel that machine, and Massey pulls ahead by a couple car lengths.
I think if there is not a caution, I think Massey really just kind of has this locked up.
You know, the iRacing cutoff lap is about 5 laps to go, so if we are to have a caution, it's going to have to happen very quickly, or this race will be sealed out here, and Massey looks like it is his to lose, but you know Taryn is not going to give up.
And coming to 6 laps to go at the line, and it looks like Massey pulled away a little bit more from Taryn. About a half-tenth quicker was Massey than Taryn.
Last time around, it was about, as you said, about half a tenth was Massey faster. The lead a little over 3/10 of a second here as we're about to have 5 laps to go in the race.
Shane Tarrant doing everything he can to get back up to Massey, but Tarrant's getting real loose out of 4. Drifting it a little bit, now keeping it pretty straight through the quad oval, so getting a little bit loose through there, and still just losing a little bit more time to Massey.
Yeah, well, almost 4/10 of a second here as Tarrant
really tight out of turn number 2, almost got to the wall, lost a ton of time.
He tried the bottom groove there, and obviously that did not work for him, but at this point he has to try something different. He's going to try to go to the top in 3 and 4 as Massey is running the inside, and again, that did not work, and a big wiggle from Tarrant off of 4, and that just adds more insurance for Nick Massey here tonight.
Yeah, 4 laps to go for Massey. And he is just continuing to pull away as Tarrant is getting loose once again, almost in the wall. Still loose down the backstretch.
Both of these drivers will be locked into the next round of the Hardline playoff, so nothing there for eliminations, but this is all for champ. This is all for motivation. This is all for prior points. This is all for the extra playoff point that carries with a race win. It'll give Nick Massey some confidence, but Shane Tarrant nothing to tout about with this run here today in the 2nd position. A very hard-fought battle, but Massey has just had this race dominated. He's led 112 laps. As Tarrant's still losing it.
Decent contact in the wall of turn number 2. Pretty nice job to not spin out there. Now coming to 2 laps to go for Nick Massey.
This will be the 113th lap of the race that Nick Massey has led out of the lap 138 run tonight. A dominating performance for the number 48, but he still has 2 laps around the Charlotte Motor Speedway before he can take the win. Shane Tarrant has dropped off by about 1 3/4 seconds, and there's no other battles on track worth noting at the moment. So we will carry on with this as we approach the white flag.
Nick Massey coming out of turn number 4 to get the white flag. Coming through the quad oval now to 48 of Massey gets the white flag. 1 more lap to go around here around Charlotte Motor Speedway. If I can talk.
Into turns number 1 and 2 for the final time. Nick Massey started on the pole here tonight and has been up front for the majority of the race. He has led what will be about 110 laps of tonight's action as he comes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. The number 48 of Nick Massey will exit turn number 4 and get his first Cup Series win of the season in the elimination round of 1 in the playoffs. Nick Massey wins at Charlotte. Rounding out your top 3 tonight is Shane Tarrant and Cole Begunia as the final running order crosses by and we get the unofficial results. We will step away for a quick commercial break as we compile some post-race interviews for the post-race show. So again, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Up and stuff, but it's amazing to me how now that I get to race on a lot of the tracks that are on there, how to the T similar because of the laser scanning and stuff like that. So all the bumps and all the visual aspects of it are very good. So when I first got to like K&N and then the Nationwide Series at the time, I would race iRacing all the time to learn as much as I could about the racetrack before I went to the actual racetrack to race. So to me, it's just for fun now, so I enjoy going on there. Actually, I don't enjoy going on there all the time because I don't win a lot, so it's frustrating to see myself struggle to run top 10 in an Xfinity race or something like that and get beat by Logan Seavey every time I run a sprint car. So the level of competition on iRacing is better than real life. I mean, you've got thousands of drivers on there that, a lot of them are probably better than the people you see on TV. They just haven't had the opportunities to make it, but can kick butt on there and you can spend all day long running thousands of laps a day, so you can get yourself, really good at it. So competition level is just unbelievable, really, on there. I mean, everybody's been asking for dirt on there for forever. So when they announced it, I got really, really excited. And honestly, it's blown my expectations away. The cars, to me, drive really good when the track's hooked up. The visual part of the racetrack changing is amazing. How you can run some laps and see it start to get shiny, and then you feel it.
And we are back here on PTR TV for the post-race show after tonight's action at the Charlotte Motor Speedway has concluded. with Nick Massey being your victor here tonight. But we will start off post-race interviews with the third place finisher, that is Shane Taryn. Sorry, no, it's not Shane Taryn. It's Cole Bagunia. I'm tired, folks. Leave me alone. Cole Bagunia in the third position here tonight, and he's in the booth with us. Cole, you finished third tonight. You had a couple runs up towards the front there, but in the green flag run of the race, looks like nobody really had anything for Massey there besides Taryn at the very end. But let's talk about how your race went overall, man. Yeah, kind of going back, I was going to bring that up, man. Talked about that big wreck there. There was a lot of chaos in those opening laps. I mean, I know you talked about hitting the wall there a little bit. Did you have any close calls getting through kind of that opening shenanigan, if you will? Yeah, you ended up lucking out tonight. You got that third place finish. You advanced to the next round of the playoffs, the round of 8. So you looking forward to that?
Really good tracks of mine, and then we go to Homestead. If I don't make the Final Four in both series, it's going to be a disappointment. I'm expecting to win the championship in both too. So, you know, we'll just keep doing what we've done all year. We're, you know, need to win a little bit more, but we've been consistent all year. A lot of top 5s, a lot of top 10s, and we'll just try and keep doing that, and hopefully we get to Homestead.
All right, man. Congrats on that, and congrats and good luck in the next round. And we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
And apologies, folks, for the first half of the interview. A little bit of technical issues here on the tech producer side. I'll make sure I yell at him after the race. But Evan Black will talk to the second place finisher, Shane Taryn.
So, Shane Taryn, you come out with the second place finish. What are your thoughts after tonight's race?
I don't like finishing second. I finished second a lot in this league. It's getting kind of old, but I guess I'll take it for a teammate. I mean, I didn't want to pit before Nick because one lap was definitely huge on tires here, but he wasn't pitting. He was going to stay as long as I could, as long as both could, and I didn't want to pit at the same time, so I took a chance, and I just couldn't hold them off. It was definitely fun.
How were the cars handling out there? We saw a lot of drivers out there slipping and sliding, getting loose, a lot out there.
Yeah, well, when I first got into the practice session, I was like, man, this is really, really tight. And then the tire model, of course, they got the new tire model, it just loosened the car way up, and it was all about how you could drive it. So that was very interesting. Like, it was really, really tight in our early run, and really, really loose from the middle of the corner to off the corner, and you just really had to wheel it. So it was really fun to drive. It made it for fun, really fun racing. So I was really surprised. At first, I didn't think there was going to be much racing.
Yeah, well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting. Had it up during the race, and then Cody for the league, and then of course my teammates, Nick, Josh, Walker, who didn't race tonight, and neither did Jake, and just congrats to Nick for the win tonight.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, and congrats on your second place finish.
Thank you.
And now Corey will talk to your winner tonight, Nick Massey.
Nick Massey, you started on the pole, you finished in first, and you led an astounding over 100 laps of tonight's race. Talk about that dominating performance and what it was like from your perspective tonight.
Yeah, you know, I mean, qualifying on the pole, you know, I usually don't qualify that well, so that was pretty nice. Nice to have some clean track at the start. And yeah, I mean, a couple of quick cautions at the start, unfortunately. I mean, usually when I'm running like 5th or something, it goes green the whole way. But when I'm in the lead, have cautions after cautions. But it ended up working out. And Shane, it was a lot of fun racing him. We raced at Dover last week too for the win, and it's always fun racing him. Then on that last pit stop there, Shane ran me down. He had a lap fresher tires than me, and he ran me down from like 2 seconds back. Then it was kind of like who's gonna pit first kind of thing there, like lap 110 or so. Then he ended up pitting, and then I pit like a lap after him. I didn't think I was gonna be able to run him down and pass him. It was hard, but ended up working out. So.
What was the biggest challenge in regards to how the cars drove here tonight? We saw a lot of people of all places getting loose in the quad over there, and a lot of people going through the grass, and then especially off corner exit. What was the biggest challenge you faced in regards to the car setup and handling?
Yeah, it was definitely really loose off 2 and 4, and after 10-15 laps or so, the quad oval was pretty sketchy too. You had to hold a pretty steady wheel, but yeah, it's still a lot of fun though.
It definitely was for you, especially when you have the kind of run you had tonight, especially advancing into the next round of the playoffs. So anyone you want to give a shout out to for tonight's victory?
Yeah, thank my teammates, Josh and Shane, for racing me clean there at the end. A lot of fun. Chris, who couldn't make the race tonight, but he's watching. My buddy Cash too. But yeah, hopefully we can win this. Hopefully we can carry the momentum and further into the playoffs here. So we'll see.
All right, we will definitely see indeed, and congrats again on your win, and we'll hopefully catch you next week.
Awesome, thanks guys.
So that is your post-race show. We talked to the top 3, so let's finish the race tonight with your final results. With the win tonight, as we just talked to, was Nick Massey in the number 48 car. And then in second spot, we had Shane Tarrant, Cole Bagunia in third, Chuck Sweeting in fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Tyler Hensley. In sixth, we had Rusty Capel, then seventh, Casey Shue, and rounding out your top 10, Thomas Bressy, Cody Tabor with the top 10, and Joshua Adams.
Frank Hartley Jr. finishing in 11th, Brandon Krutz in 12th, Barrow Pratt in 13th, Justin Munsell in 14th. Robert Kenny in 15th, and then Nick Olson and Jordan Pauly rounding out the field.
But that is your finishing results, and it wouldn't be a broadcast without our sponsors. I want to thank Air Movement and Fabrication, not a family-run business, formally established in 2012, over 25 years of experience in the ventilation industry. They offer a wide variety of services, including ducting, ventilation, extraction, and canopies. If you're in the Nottingham, UK area, Air Movement Fabrications is the ventilation specialist to trust. Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero card, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, they've got your back. Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Also going to give a shout out to iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's 2 main overlay systems, ATVO and IRTVO. Your broadcast company looking for a custom overlays to make your channel shine? Talk to Jason Allison with iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also want to give a shout out to our cameras for tonight. If you want to see the views that we had tonight, TrackCam4 Gourmets, talk to Estevan at facebook.com/TrackCams, also TrackCams22.com. You can check him out there and maybe have the same views that we have tonight here on PTR TV. Also check out our Patreon if you haven't done so. I have a lot of people donating to that, which is very beneficial for us to keep our quality high and cost low for the league owners. We need a little help from the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PTR TV. If you become a Patreon, there will be rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. So if you're interested in helping us out there, again, take a look at patreon.com/PTR TV. But that is another broadcast here on PTR. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Hardline Racing League tonight. Check us out, obviously, in the week. We bring you the Cyber Racing League and some more races with ASRS and Hardline. And, of course, next Thursday, the 8th, being our NASCAR night, powered by Hardline. If you haven't checked that out on our social media, it will be a huge night. If you're not going to be in the race, definitely book the night on YouTube and join us for the action that night. Signing out of the booth is Corey Silva, Evan Black, and Brandon Krutz. Actually, no, Brandon Krutz was not
here.
So forced to have it.
He's in the car.
That too. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night.
And catch you next time.